So today I will present PWA, Progressive Web Applications. Okay, this is the offline dinosaur game we used to play when we are offline to just have fun a little bit in middle. Yeah, PWA has something related to the offline, as we are going to discover it later. Today, I will talk about introduction to PWA, features of PWA, and how to migrate existing website into PWA. Okay, what is progressive web application? It is basically application act like mobile web experience. It has the same experience as mobile web. It is faster, lighter, and personalized. Basically, this term was published in 2015 by Google, especially Google Chrome developers. Features of PWA. The main feature is progressive. It relies purely on progressive enhancement. Secondly, it's responsive. It uses the CSS library and framework similar to Bootstrap to ensure that the web app is reliable on all devices. Safe, it is used TLS, transport layer security, to ensure the safety of the application and encrypt the data sent to the internet. Connectivity independent. It allows the app to work with low quality or offline. It's similar to the dinosaur. It's partially solving that problem. App-like, it has this the look as app application and minimal refreshes to the app. And the last point I'm going to talk about is discovered. It is easy discovered by the search engine, as the traffic is automatically increased on the site. Okay, now we are going to talk about how to migrate an existing app into PWA. First point is using HTTPS. It's always keep malicious script out. Second option, using cache strategies. It enhance the performance and enable the offline experience. Implement the app shell architecture. It separates the dynamic content from the logic rendering that content. Add the icon to home screen. Add the website icon to home screen. It's ensuring that it is easy to return to your website. And then we have multiple push notification, payment, credential to make it similar to the mobile application and use the benefit of those features. Okay, what is an application shell? We can describe this application shell by comparing the left side image to the right side image. The left side image is containing the navigation, the main page layout, and on the right side image, we have the dynamic content that loaded. It's basically separate the What is it, the word? I forget about it. It separate the dynamic content. We see it in the right side from the loading and the navigational symbols content. Okay, now we are talking more about caching strategy, since it is a big part of the PWA. We have two caching. Caching could be happen in server side or in client side. First of all, we are going to talk about server side rendering. It is basically the server return all the components and build the whole page, load the CSS and script, and update the DOM. For client-side rendering, the server return template page, which is static on the server, and CSS and JavaScript files. The JavaScript are loading the content and add them to the page. The page only reload the dynamic content. Caching server-side scripting is caching the common files, JavaScript, CSS, and common images on the device, so we can really easy access them. Okay, to do on server side, we need to detecting the offline. So we are detecting the navigator property, if it is offline and online, to detect if we are having an internet issues or not, or if we don't have an internet, or we have a weak internet, or we are having strong internet. Caching on client side, it caches the core code, CSS template pages, and then detect and cache the data using API, caches API or IndexedDB to store the non-URL data. And also detect if the app is offline and save user actions for later replays. Fine-tuning your app shell. We do where the data live. Normally, they live in where they live in the cache or in the network. Or basically, we can combine the two methods to be cache and network, to live in both, so we can have a better strategy. Okay, combined strategy, can we use cache first and network fallback if the cache falls? This is basically used for the large data that is not changing that much. The second strategy is network first, then cache fallback. In this option, when we need the data from network, if the network is failed, we can return the data from the cache for smaller, lighter, and faster things we need to do. Network only, you got an idea. Cache only, it's relying on the machine. Okay, we can have libraries to code the caching strategy, so and ensure they are the best practice you are using. The first one is SWA Toolbox. It's an open source library used to cache strategies. You can get them and use them. And also we have SW Precache library. It's an open source tool, generate the server working scripts. Even if you want to use your own cache experience, you can just take a look at them to understand how they are working. Now we return to completing your PWA. Okay, we'll talk about adding to home screen. Basically, we different browser use different ways. Basically, we can use a manifest file for Android to take the icon of the browser and put it in the home screen. Also, we can use meta tags for the same purpose to solve it. Push notification, also Progress app, a web application is using push notifications similar to the phone to subscribe client to push services, receive client token, and send requests and notification to the client. Also, if we integrate payment API, credential management because it's super important to have the credential management system and store the authentication data correctly. Building a high performance PWA. It's recommended in this order, it's recommended. It's not sure we have 100% use them. The first method is depending on caching only. Caching application shell, content, and the shell using JavaScript fetch content for future routes. The second method is combine the server and client side caching. First, you will do a server, and then for future, you will load the JS files. Server-side rendering full page. It's caching everything you can on the server. Client-side rendering full page. It is a bit slow because it loads the JS files before rendering the content. Before rendering begin. It's load the file, then we render. We have here a real world example for PWA. You can check them out and just experience with them. Basically, you can check offline Wikipedia app, Flipkart Lite, Voice Memo, AliExpress, Babe, United Extra, the Washington Post. You can just check them out and just experience more about PWA. If you want to learn more, we have here some resources about PWA. You can check them out. I can send them to you on the Slack channel after the TikTok. Thank you all for listening. And if anyone has a question, you can start.
Thank you, Mariam.
Yeah, I have a question. So it seems like this allows, you know, a web user or a mobile user to kind of download your app, right? And use it like it's a normal application, right? Is there a case where it would replace building a mobile application?
I don't think it should be replacing mobile application. Mobile application is a bit more lighter. Also, mobile applications are faster. Yeah, that's it from my side.
But for, I guess from a business standpoint, let's say you have a web app, but now you want mobile people to access. Is it a viable decision to just, you know what, I'll just turn into a PWA instead of spending money and building a whole mobile app? Why would that, I guess, why would that not be a good decision? I'm just trying to understand the business value of having a PWA.
Okay. For mobile applications, there is some features can be used by mobile applications similar to camera, and which are easy to use if you use a normal mobile app. But in websites, sometimes for matter of security, you don't want to open resources from the client machine. This is from my side. I'm not that sure.
No, that makes a lot of sense. So the access to the operating system of the phone, basically, that's the value of having a mobile app, correct? Versus a PWA. So if you want to use the API of the mobile phone's OS operating system, that makes sense. Like the camera and all that. Okay, clear.
I think also like PWA is the big pro, or like the benefit is it's like, doesn't matter if you're on Android, iOS, or on a desktop. It's, platform agnostic. So that helps in development. You're not developing for, like, let's say, for Golands, if it was a PWA, you'd just be making one thing.
Also, anyone has another question?
Yeah, looks like
Silence.
no more questions. Yeah.
I think everybody's thinking about PWAs. I mean, I have a question. Is the development process easier for PWA? Is it is it faster, or does it take more time?
It is faster since you are designing one app for all platforms. You are not going to each platform and design a certain style for it, certain project.
And for PWAs, is it better to use a PWA if you have like the same use case, or if you have a variety of use cases? If you have a variety of use cases, would it be better to just make an application, or make a PWA? I mean, this is a
What do you
question to
mean by
everybody.
cases?
So let's say like with Facebook, there's a lot of things. For example, Facebook, you can chat, message, browse, you can access the people's links and all. It's like an ecosystem, versus a singular application like for example, let's take GoLands, where you can just search and buy lands. So would making a PWA for a lot of use cases, is that good, or is it better for only limited use cases?
Okay, in this case, when we having, basically we are using the web app is basically for a single page application. You can have multiple, but normally if you need to do things offline, for example, if you want to shop from AliExpress, you can create your cart offline, and then once you are online, you can send it or buy the things. I'm not sure if that makes sense.
No, that makes sense. So, I mean, there's benefit, some features, there's a distinction between some features being offline and allowing the users to still interact with the app while they don't have any internet. And once they have a network, they can, move forward with whatever process, they can complete the process then. And so the way PWA is built, the caching allows to do some stuff without internet. Cool. Thanks, Mariam.
Okay.
I guess if
anyone, oh, sorry.
Oh, go.
I was just
I
going to
was
ask
just
if
gonna-
anyone uses PWAs. Like if anyone's found themselves like, oh, making that little app thing from a specific website.
Yeah, I've used, well, I built one, and then also I've used Twitch. So Twitch, instead of downloading, because I don't use it that much, I don't use Twitch that much. But when I went to the web, there was an option for me to download the PWA, which makes, less of a commitment, if that makes sense.
Right.
Downloading the whole app. So yeah, that's one tool that I found. I was surprised. I was like, whoa, wow, okay.
Our question, are app clips, I don't know if everybody's familiar with app clips, like the new iOS thing. Is that like equivalent to a PWA? Or the iOS?
What is
people out
app
there?
clips?
So basically app clips is where you can, quickly access a feature of your app without having to install the app. And this is like a thing they announced in WWDC last year. So like, let's say you have let's say you have you want to order something, or like you want to order something from Starbucks. You don't have to install the Starbucks app. You can just scan a QR code within the store and make the order from your iPhone or iOS device without having to install the app.
So I don't know if it's a PWA or not, but I mean, an easy way to test out any website to make sure if it's a just there's an add to home screen option. I don't know if you use an iPhone or Android, but if you use iPhone, you click on the share and find the add to home screen. And a good way to test one is Wikipedia. You can just have it on your, it'll, you can test, you can use a PWA right now if you want it.
Okay.
I'm not sure about this one, to be honest. I don't know if anybody else.
Dropped a link in the chat if anybody's interested in checking what our app clips out are.
Yeah, thanks, Trishna.
So yeah, I guess Lean, you can put Twitch or Wikipedia, your choice, to add to the home screen to get a PWA testing.
No, I know exactly what Maha meant when Maha mentioned the add to home screen thing, because I think I used to do that way back when on like the 3rd generation iPhone, where apps weren't really that big, or not every social media thing had like an application, so you could just like add Twitter browser as like its own web like app on your phone. But yeah,
that's
old school. That's so old school. 2009.
Yeah, the add to home screen thing, I've not used it ever, but now I'm definitely interested to see test this out since Maher mentioned it.
Right.
Cool. All right. Anybody has anything about PWAs in their system they want to talk about and share? This is a good time to bring it up. If not, thank you so much, Mariam. And yeah, just make sure to, I guess, end the recording. And thank you so much for preparing the presentation. And we're definitely thinking about PWAs now. And we're going to test Wikipedia or Twitch out, one of those, and get to learn more about it in our own times. Thank you, Mariam. And thank you, everybody else, for joining.
Thank you,
Mariam.
Joshua. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Mariam.
You're welcome.